A very good morning to one and all. Welcome to ITM University Online. The topic for the day is costing for beginners. Now, as we always mention, we should have a roadmap or a plan before we start the conversation. Let us have the agenda for the day. First one, we'll try to understand what is the significance of this topic, why I should understand. Second, what are the elements? What is a cost sheet specifically? Third, what are the different components? What do you mean by material costing? What is the different aspects of labor and overhead costing? So now we'll get back one by one. Let us understand, we said the title is costing for beginners. What is the importance of this topic? Let us go back. Now, if I am starting a company, I should have something known as capital or money. The question is, if you have got money, you should either come out with a product or buy and sell a product. Let us again assume you are going to buy and sell a product. So, for example, you are going to Lucknow, getting Kolhapuri chappals from Lucknow, coming here and selling it in Kerala market. Let's take it. Now, what is the costing in it? There is costing. You have got, say, capital. You started the business. You identified a supplier in Lucknow. He is selling Kolhapuri chappals to you at, say, for example, 150 rupees per pair. Now, the question to you is, at what price should you sell in Kerala market or in Indian market other than Lucknow? Therefore, for answering that question, you should have clear idea. What is my basic cost? My basic cost is the amount that I have to pay to the supplier. That is 150 rupees. But don't you think there is traveling cost? Yes. It has to be brought down to your market. So there is transportation. Then, if you are doing some advertisement, some flex or some boarding or some paper advertisement, again there is a cost. If you are conducting an exhibition, you have to pay rent to the exhibition hall. All these things should be added to the price of the chappal so that you are getting minimum cost. Plus, everyone knows nobody does business for charity. You need some profit. At what price should you sell? The answer to that single question is multifold. You should have idea about what is the cost price. You should have idea about what is the competitor's price. You should have idea about what is the market situation. Plus, what is the profit you are looking out from this business. So that is the impact of this topic. Whether you start a Kolhapuri chappal business or whether you start a multi-million business or whether you are working for an organization, the crux or the emphasis is on how to minimize cost. For answering minimization of cost, I should know what is the cost. Therefore, costing for beginners is a topic which will go in depth in understanding what are the elements of cost, how cost is being computed, where all can we control cost from a theoretical perspective, which means there are certain theories which says if you follow these, the controlling mechanisms can be better. That can is a powerful word because it differs from industry to industry, operational aspects. So if you are operating in a small scale, your controlling mechanisms might be different. If you are planning to operate in a very large scale, you need to have better controlling mechanisms because your scale is higher. So, please understand the importance of this topic is tremendous. It is applicable in real life as well as in organizations. What is this real life aspect? Come on, if I am planning to go and or if I am rather buying a bike or a scooter, I am doing simple costing. What is it simple costing? Do I want Pulsar bike? Or do I want Activa? Or do I want a much bigger version? My final answer would depend on what is the cost of that bike? What are the usage from that bike? Where am I going to deploy it or use it? If I am a biker or if I am going for rallies, then my focus would be on, the power of the bike. But if I am an ordinary transporter wherein my objective is smooth ride, I might not be going for higher cc versions because the power would be high. And if I am traveling in a road where blocks are frequent, I want to enjoy the smooth ride. So I might prefer a scooter or different aspects. What am I trying to say? Real life, there is also principles of costing. Now, coming to the second aspect, how will we understand what is the cost? There is a technique known as, or there is a format known as cost sheet. So in cost sheet, we will list down items and we will try to put what are the value or the prices per unit or prices in total. Then we'll add it. That will tell us this is the cost of the product. Every company does this same procedure in different manner, that's all. But they will be preparing something known as cost sheet to understand what is the cost they are incurring and where can they control or reduce cost. So by preparing cost sheets, they'll try to understand, has the cost for materials gone up or has the cost for labor gone up? All aspects would be finally looked into for arriving at a better decision making. So remember, we'll try to understand what is a cost sheet, what are the elements of cost sheet, how to prepare a cost sheet. Next question, what are the elements? Again, we'll try to understand there is something known as broadly 3 heads. First one is materials, second one is labor, third one is overheads. In overheads, simple languages, all indirect expenses. So electricity is an example of indirect expense. You are having a factory, for example, 10 floors of factory. Electricity is one connection which is connected to all the floors. So you cannot say that this floor number 3 consumes major electricity because you have only single meter, the entire running of electricity is calculated. So that is known as indirect expenses where you cannot control, where you cannot measure directly. So we'll understand how to cost materials, how to cost labor, how to cost overheads. At the end, I would also try to urge you, we'll try to take up a practical example, try and figure out how the company's costing works out, what are the different mechanisms at which they price. Again, we'll also understand some techniques of costing. So in a nutshell, what we are trying to communicate is costing topic is having a bright scope. Everyone should have a fair idea about what is a cost sheet, what are the different components of cost sheet. At the end, we'll also do a simulation exercise, probably a company exercise, and figure out if the cost is reduced by X%, what will be the total? If they try to outsource this area, what will be the difference in the cost? Entire retreat objective, we'll do it. We'll try to come out with a fair understanding about the importance and the significance of costing, especially for beginners. Thank you.